Hello, my name is Laverna Mitchell. This is my YouTube channel, Freedom in Christ Jesus, or Freedom ICJ for short. Thank you for stopping back by. I hope that if this content is helpful for you, interesting, educational, then make sure to give me a like, give me a thumbs up, to subscribe to my channel so that you can get all of my future so you can be notified about my future postings. I plan to post something every day this year. I have a lot to share, a lot of good information that I think will help you. If you are interested in making changes in your life, changes of any kind, not just, you know, intimacy, sexuality changes, but if there are other things that kind of have a grip on you, they're not healthy for you, and you want to change, then it's my goal to provide you with information that will help you there. So I'm going to continue, maybe for about 10 minutes, telling you more about my journey. And kind of, this is after the slumber party. This is my high school days, where I, was heavily involved in my church activity. I was a born again Christian, still am. Was involved in ministry in my dad's church, taught Sunday school, was involved with the choir, did missions work in the city here by visiting, senior citizens' homes. And so I was active and I enjoyed it. Nobody pulled me and made me go to church. It was something that was in my heart to do, and I enjoyed doing it. At the same time, I had this struggle. I had this conflict with my sexuality, with my desires, and I didn't really know what to do with them. So it was pretty much in my private time, when I wasn't in school and I wasn't in church, and there were times where you're alone and your mind just drifts, and there was a lot of fantasy and just a lot of imaginative scenarios. I engaged in masturbation periodically. That all goes along with adolescent sexual development, and but I wasn't happy. I wasn't content. I knew that I don't think this is how things are supposed to be. I didn't know why I felt the way I felt. I didn't know how to stop it. I wasn't even sure that I wanted to stop it. I just didn't want God to be mad at me. That was the my big concern. I wasn't sleeping with boys. I had absolutely no problem saying no to boys, and there were a few guys that were interested in me. And so finally, I got to a place, which is the name of the of this video. Don't make the first move. Where I finally talked to my mom. Now, the interesting thing about my mom was that she herself was the victim of long-term sexual abuse by an older relative, and from like the age of 8 to 15. And so, her perspective on life was different than most. Now, I didn't know that at the time that we had that conversation. I didn't discover this about my mom until I was like 30 years old, moved away, gone to college, and moved to Texas to start my life. So at 14 or 15, when I had this, private confessing moment with my mother, I told her I had this serious mad crush on one of my teachers, and that, I didn't know what to do about it. It's funny now because, I'm looking back. Back then, it was not funny at all. It was a troubling, very emotional thing because I was afraid. I didn't know how my mother was going to respond. And, there was just I don't know what to do. So my mother told me, she said, baby, don't make the first move. And I was like, oh, I was like, oh, and I said, okay. So I was surprised. I didn't know, I thought she was going to, of course, tell me this is wrong. God doesn't like this. And you can't do this. And I thought she was just going to have a negative reaction and lay out, all of these demands. And she did nothing like that. She said, don't make the first move. Now, hindsight, and needless to say, I never made the first move. Um, well, not back then. So my mother was trying to protect me. Hindsight, that's how I interpret that. She wasn't judging me. She wasn't condoning anything. I think she was probably, I think she had been through so much in her life that she didn't have room to condemn anybody. I think she understood my struggle in ways that I had no idea, I had no clue back then how she might have understood my situation and why she gave me that answer. But now I believe that she had my best interests in mind. She wanted to protect me. She said something similar to that 2 years earlier. I think I was like 12 or 13, and I had taken several small kids. We walked to the park nearby our house, and there was this older guy. I think I was, like I say, about 13 or 14. The kids were about 5, 6, or 7. And they were all playing on the playground. And this guy saw me there. I was a mature kid. And he approached me and he was talking to me and being all nice and friendly and wanted to take me out and wanted to date. And I was flattered, but I was also a little scared. And I finally just kind of got him away from me. And he wanted to know if he could talk to me. And so I think he even gave me his phone number. So I took it and then I went back home and shared it with my mom. And she said, "Oh no, baby, you are too young. He's too old for you." That is what she said, and you're too young. And I accepted that. I felt safe when she did that because I with my conflicted self at that time didn't know. It's like there was a part of me that wanted him to call, and there's another part that's like, oh no. So my mother resolved that for me. She said a clear no, and I was okay with it. So my mother was all about protecting me, and I appreciate her for that. So time went on, and I still had to deal with my same gender attraction. My attractions were predominantly same gender. There were times where I did talk with a few older guys, and there was just, they were fun and interested. But when it came to my heart and all of my emotions, they were all geared toward particular women. And so that carried on into my entrance into college. But I'll save that part for my next video. I'll let this video, I'm going to name this, I think I've already named this, Don't Make the First Move. My protective mom, I appreciate her for that. But I want to leave with this point here is that understanding the why behind your struggle is important and it is helpful. And it requires engagement with God to have the blinders, the spiritual blinders removed from your eyes. And it requires engagement and encounter with God to have your inner soul, your soulish person, to be healed, to be repaired, to be restored. Because in our limited human ability, there's only so much that we understand and can do. And we need a supernatural power, a power greater than ours, to help us understand why and how, why we need to make changes, and then how to do it. It's easy for you to tell somebody you're wrong for doing this or you're wrong for doing that, and not even care about why they are doing it or what led them down this path. And you just throw a rock at them and then go home and let them sit there to bleed from the rock that you've thrown, and also still deal with whatever the wounds, the scars, whatever it is that has caused them to be ensnared in this issue. It's important, and God can help. And God has helped me in my journey. And I want to just pause right here, right now, to say that you are not alone in whatever your struggle is. You are not alone in wanting to make a positive, more productive, more healthy, more peaceful, more whatever, more of that good stuff that you're looking for and that you need. That you are not alone, and God is here to help you. And God has people all over the world in places where He will sync you up with them, and they can support you in your journey, as I have had people to do the same for me. And I hope that this channel can be that for you. So for now, again, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, share the video, listen to the other videos, and stay tuned for the next video tomorrow. Have a fabulous day. Bye.